In today's lecture, I'm going to show you all how to make an assembly drawing. Okay? AutoCAD doesn't create assemblies automatically. You have to literally build it from scratch as if you did a hand drawing. There's no difference in that process. The only benefit you have in AutoCAD is you can bring in all your component drawings and assemble them together. That way you're not wasting time redrawing anything. That's the key. So here we have a sample project to work with. Some of the items in here are items you have to build. Some of the items in here are items that are purchased. In class, we already discussed this before I got into this lecture that's being recorded, which items we're building and which items are purchased. The nuts and bolts, okay, the fasteners in this drawing, they're purchased items. So when we look in here, and I'm trying to zoom into this thing. Hold on, I think I'm going to have to maximize this for a few minutes. There we go. The fasteners that are on here, they're going to be the purchased items. This item, and on this side, there's quantity 2 of one of them, there's quantity 2 of another one. This fastener, which is identified over there, item number 4. And there's quantity 2 of the nuts, right there, the hex head nuts. Okay? The entire item is in the metric system. So that's the first thing we have to do. Make sure we start correctly. You double check your drawing. If you happen to already be inside AutoCAD, you want to verify that you're in the correct type of drawing. The down and dirty method for that is go to annotate. And if you see ISO as one of your drafting standards, you're good to go. If you don't, you're in trouble. I don't. So I'm in trouble. I need to get out of this thing. To make sure you start correctly, you actually go, instead of just hitting start drawing, you have to go down here and make sure you pick AutoCAD ISO.DWT. That's mission critical. If you don't do that, you won't be able to draw this correctly. It has to be in the metric system. Once you're in, then it's a function of I want this thing to look like this. Is the first thing you do the border? Never. The first thing you do is what? Bring in all your components. You insert your border. You don't go through the effort of building a border and then putting stuff in it. No, the border is secondary. Just remember that. You're always inserting a border. So the first thing you want to do is insert your parts. I'm hoping I have parts available. So I'm going to go to insert, and then go and browse to wherever my flash drive is to make sure I can copy my work in. So we have one of our students was kind enough to loan us her drawings. Thank you, Sochi. So we're going to jump into, where did you put it? AutoCAD. By the way, File Management 101, do stuff like this. Okay? Very important. So here we go into AutoCAD, Assembly, and then voila. You went ahead, which is good, because we're going to have that conversation. These are all the components. So here's the base. It's all about the base, remember that. When you insert it and you hit open, so you see the item. You see that you're going to specify on screen. You've seen this before, this dialog box when you insert your border. The reason I want you to be a little more careful in reading it this time around is because the very, very important that you know that the units coming in are millimeters. Just in case you get a surprise. Because let's hypothetically speaking, you did 2 of your parts in inches and accidentally, 2 of your parts in millimeters and accidentally did the third one in inches. You don't want that surprise. You'll see the vast difference in size and shape. You'll notice rather quickly. And when that moment happens, don't get too upset with yourself. Just redraw it. Okay? So we're going to hit OK, and it's going to drop everything in. And that's okay. Somebody likes, oh, no, I just want one view of this thing dropping in. No, you're going to get them all, but that's all right. Because for each one of these, we're going to do insert again. It might be a different view that you really want represented in your drawing. So don't knock it that you're going to get all the views in. Now we browse again, find the next item, hit open. It's in millimeters, we're good, hit OK. We almost want a mistake, don't we? but we probably won't have one, and that's okay. We're going to go to more options, browse, center plate. It's in millimeters. That's okay. That's good. That's good. We want it. We actually want them all correct, but we're checking. Because in case one of them comes in wrong, then we have to figure out what to do, which is redraw it. The simplest answer to give you. And then we're going to browse again. So, and then we have some other items that I'm going to ignore right now. Okay? Because I want to show everybody how to do that. So here we have these, all three of them. What's cool is now I can choose, and now I'm going to compare and contrast how I want it to look. I want it to look like this. So this guy over here is this piece, right? When we look over here, that's the bottom plate. So which one of these, by the way, each of them come in as blocks. So when you touch them, they appear as one object to move around. That's kind of nice. But in order to work with it, obviously, I have to figure out how to break the block. The command to do that with is called explode. So the command you need to write down in your notes when you insert a block, in case you haven't done it before, is explode. Now the type command for explode is X, which I just hit on my keyboard. X, enter. Okay? As I like to say, X for Xena. So, but it's X for explode in our case. So then you can pick all three items and just hit all three and hit enter. And now each one is an individual broken up set of little pieces, and that's what you want. So on the bottom piece, this one that I marked in blue over here, that happens to be this view. So this is the view I want to keep right here. That means the other two views I don't want. So I'm just going to delete those views. Doesn't matter if it's a top view, the front view, who cares? The point is that's the view I'm keeping. Now if I change colors to my pen, this guy over here, which is also this one over here, whoops, that's a little poorly drawn, gesundheit, which is this one over here, is this view. I don't care if it's a front view, right view, top view, doesn't matter, that's the view I want. So I'm going to move this one over a little bit. Just put it right there. Then I'm going to move the whole thing. All right. So this item right here is a different color. Now, you all should be stopping me. Have I done anything wrong yet? I'm going to use fuchsia. I want this one. What view am I focused on? The front view. What did I totally ignore in the drawing? Oh yeah, this guy right here. What did I just do? I deleted my other views. Should I have done that? No. Here's what you do. Before you get too carried away, deleting all your views, look at what you're doing and try to remember which views you need to retain. So instead of deleting all your views, what should I do? Copy them over to the side here somewhere, all right? And leave my selection of views here, all right? Please, that's my word of advice. No one stopped me, so I had to stop me. Because I don't want to go through this whole video and say, oops, look at this. Got it? That's what I want you to do. So I'm going to copy the things that I need. I'm using my keyboard, yes. You can pull them down as well. So there I have it. I've copied it. And this is going to be the development of my front view. So I've got this one, and I need the other side of it. So will I copy it or mirror it? Mirror, because remember this command. I'm going to mirror, I'm going to select somewhere in the middle and just mirror across. See? Because I don't want to rebuild it. I'm too lazy for that. And I want you to be as lazy as me. Okay? So there's that. The top view means I'm going to be copying over the different views that'll help me develop those. So that's these over here. Okay? See that? Now you'll notice I left everything here. I recommend you do the same, because in case you accidentally delete something and you're like, oh, gosh darn it, gee willikers, I want to bring that back in. Okay, it's right there. You don't delete these until you're done. My word of advice to you. Then you zoom in, and now you start working here. If this is drawn correctly, is a pretty much aligned properly. I should be able to align this center to this center. Now, we did the alignment, but what's wrong? We should have like overlapping lines. Do we want overlapping lines in AutoCAD ever? No. So we delete the overlapping lines. Just like here, we're going to delete that line and extend this up. Whoops, not deleted. Okay? That's a little cleanup I always like to tell people to do. Do that type of cleanup. Now, yeah, I can move this over and then just rinse and repeat. Or I could do what? From the other drawing, from the other view. What could I have done? Mirror. That's correct. So you have your choice. This is that 6 of one, half a dozen of another. Should I have mirrored before or after I dropped it? That's up to you. Make sense? Then I'm going to move this into position. And that should be center to center with this. And everything fits beautifully. You did something wrong there, you think?
I moved the hole.
I don't think so. It looks correct. No, they're not flush, if that's what you're asking.
Yeah, on the bottom.
Oh, this down here, you think it extends too far. That could be the case.
It's because I moved the hole down. So actually.
Okay, I see what you're saying. So that's the interesting stuff. Now is when you catch your stuff. See that? When you do assembly. That's what assemblies are for. In the 3D parametric world, they help us make sure we do things correctly. Here, we can possibly catch some errors from somebody else. In my case, I'm working on somebody else's drawing, and you caught the error as we were dropping it, which is good. That's what this does for you. So let me go ahead and pick linear and check this dimension real quick. And that's correct. So what you're saying is the location of the hole is incorrect. So I'm going to be lazy. I'm just going to hit the offset command and type in 30. If I can type the correct number in, that would be nice. And then I'm going to offset this. Let me go this way again. Offset 30, not 3. And drop that down. See that? And now I can literally just highlight what I want to move and move it from intersection to intersection. Done. Problem fixed. Anything else an issue? Hidden lines. We can work on all that later. The details. We can figure that out later. Down here we have 2 sets of center lines. We've got to get rid of that because you really just want one. That's what we think, but we'll see. Maybe we don't need center lines at all. Oh, thank you. In the end, we might not need any hidden lines, center lines. I mean, sorry, or hidden lines. We'll see. All right, let's move this back in. Now that we made that correction, and we drop this in here, and then we see that that's corrected. We get rid of the double. Is there a double line? There is and there isn't. This is one of those weird ones. There is a double line. So we're going to delete that little piece and extend this one all the way up. The double line is because there's that overlap. So we just delete the one line. And this ends up being a double line too. So you want to clean that up. This is the little cleanup that you're going to end up doing. And you're like, wait a minute, I just deleted my line. That's okay. Just extend these out. See that? That's what your grips are for. Please do not forget to use your grips. Those are awesome. Get a grip. Had to say it. Sorry. Get a grip, use your grips. Okay? So there's that view. It's done if it is shown as solid lines. But as we know, in the example we're producing, what is it? It's a what kind of view? Yep, you see over through the top view, what do we see? Sectional. So this is actually a sectional view. So that means, one, we don't need the center lines, because they'll appear in the top view. Two, anything that's hidden is now what kind of line type? Solid. So my favorite tool for that, fixing it quickly when I go to the home screen, is match properties. I pick a solid line and just pick everything else and we're done. Okay, remember that. What this also means is what? Because it's a sectional, what else does it mean?
You wouldn't see some of those.
You're right. There's some things we won't see anymore. Okay? For example, we'll have to trim off this piece. We'll have to trim off this piece. Because what's missing in here are the fasteners that it will also be represented in here. We have to put those in. So we're really not done yet. Okay? Here, we'll have another fastener. So we won't have this line. Here, we won't have that little bit of a line. Other than that, everything else stays. The last thing we got to do, though, is put in our hatch for this view. The hatch, this is where things get interesting. You guys have been using the standard hatch pattern in its standard position this entire time. But here's the sad part. When you use it here, and I just go all the way across, I'm just going to do it to do it, but this is not correct. So please do not stop your video at this point and say, okay, I'm done. Good. Click. This is wrong. Please remember that. You would never do a sectional view with all the hatching going in the same direction. Doesn't it now look like it's one part? That's why it's wrong. That's why we don't do that. By the way, before I start hatching, what else should I have done to all these lines? Made them what? Thicker. Okay? Which they are. So why aren't they showing thicker? What did I forget to do? I gotta turn on my line weights, people. Remember that? Line weight settings. Display line weight right there. Remember that. Remember that. Okay. Now when I put in my hatch, should be good, right? Oh, wrong one. Sorry. Let me pick hatch. Pick ANSI. Yeah. Okay. So now that's good enough, right? Teacher should be happy with this one, right? The boss. Who cares about the teacher? The one paying the bills. The boss should be happy with that, right? Nope. Still unhappy. Looks better because we have lightweight contrast, line weight, sorry, contrast, but it's wrong. You cannot do that. The boss is not going to be happy. Okay, so please remember. Whoops, I keep picking angle. Sorry. ANSI. We'll just say ANSI 31 for the sake of conversation, just to do it. When you select what you're going to hatch, that is the only part that will have that direction. The part next to it cannot share the same direction of hatch pattern. So I can go pick these two parts like I showed you when I did the hand version of this, remember? A few minutes ago? And that's it. So it's like, okay, fine. Now what? When you're going to hatch, you have a set of opportunities, not issues, opportunities. A set of all these different things. Have you played with this yet and looked at all these just a little bit? You look at, there's like pick point, select, there's different types of hatches. You can have all these, and of course they're assigned to different material types. We're sticking with ANSI 31. Then we look at pattern. Okay, that's good. By layer, the line type, the colors by layer, background, none, hatch, transparency, none, angle. Angle. What angle is this set to? It says 0. But it's at 45 degrees, right? Yeah, because that's its natural condition. That's why it says 0. So if I wanted to go 180 degrees the other way, what do you think I should type in here? Just for fun.
45.
All right, we'll try 45. Let's see. All right, let's try 45. Gosh darn it, gee willikers. 45. The line is at 45. We rotated at 45, so now it's vertical. Get it? So that's a no-go. That's a no-go. Okay. We'll say 90. Let's see if this helps. Ta-da! See? Cool? That's how you change its direction. If it was a different material, which I don't think it is. I think all the parts are made of the same material and the specifications. They're all steel. Yeah, if it was a different material, let's say one of it was copper or something, you'd actually have to change the type of hatch pattern to accommodate the change in material. And when we talk about that, there's a like hatch pattern by material type. You'll see there's usually a chart that you can download, or here's the AutoCAD hatch: iron, brick, stone, masonry, steel, bronze, brass, copper. See that? So they do mean something. Okay. So make sure you specify the right one. That's all. In our case, we just steel. We don't care. So, but the ANSI does mean, for those of you who are doing welding, when we're in that class, anybody in welding in here? We know that ANSI really does mean something. It's a specific kind of material, right? So that's what you appreciate in here. So there's all this crossover in other classes that we're always dealing with. Okay? Nothing is discretely unique to a class. Please remember that. So in our case, we're going to leave oops, did I do it right? Yeah, ANSI 31 is fine. And then this guy, we can leave it as that as well. There we go. So the change was to angle 90. Now, initially I'd made the comment, or I'd said, it's going 45 this way and it says angle 0, but I want it to be 180 the other way. If I had typed in 180, it would have ended up giving me the same thing. So I have to think of, it's 45 this way, I want it to be 90 degrees of where it is, not 180. Because 180 to it, because it's already at 45, is back to where it is. Keep that in mind. That's why the answer was 90. Because that's 90 degrees to the initial position of the line. And if you look closer, let me finish this real quick so I could show you. When you look closer, you'll see that these lines are 90 degrees to these lines. Okay? That's how you want to think of that change. And that would be what the front view of this thing looks like. Yes? Oh, yeah, there's a problem in the one part. You're absolutely right. Yep. There's a part in here. It's missing something. So we're going to go back and fix that after we bring in our fasteners. Say again? Well, I don't know what it is. Let's first get the fasteners in because we're totally missing the fasteners. So let's finish the top. Let's look at the top view. So at least we learn how to manipulate an existing view to make something, okay? So the top view, what I'm going to do is line it up. I am going to turn line weights off because it's annoying when I'm drawing. That is why people have like different line weights. Why is it naturally off? Because as you're zooming in and out of your drawing, you see how thick it gets, how thin it gets annoying. So you'll see me turning them on and off. So I'm going to drag this over. And I'm intentionally showing you through this method, just for you to remember where to find it. Find it. Because you could also type it in, like everything else. Got it? And if you type in LW, sorry. Get it? You can do that as well. Alright? LW, I'll wait, or up here. Okay? I'll lead to the same thing, so remember that in your notes. So I threw my vertical line up to line up this piece, and then I can again easily throw a vertical line up. And this is right straight out of hand drawing. Remember that? In hand drawing, I always say just use the views to find other views, right? Then I'm going to delete the extra lines. Okay, went ahead and did that. And then I've got this guy, and yes, we know that there's a problem, so we got to fix that. Should I stop and fix it? Yes, but I want to finish the lecture so I could show you how to fix it as part of this conversation. Again, you want to delete the extra lines. You don't want extra lines. Extra lines means that you might have different issues on your drawings. You want to eliminate all the extra lines. Anytime you spot an extra line, get rid of it. Okay? Please. Now that one's tough, but I did it there so I could just mirror it over. That one's a little tough, ooh. Oh yeah, no, that's correct. I did that right. I thought I messed up for a minute. I think I just did. 1 second. If I delete this, and that, okay, now I didn't. Alright. If I delete this up, then I messed up. Okay. Fix that. Mirror. There we go. Alright, so we have our front view and we have our top view. I'm going to move this down a bit more. And everything is there, but what's the problem now? Are the line weights in? Let's find out. In the top view, were the line weights in? There we go. See how good it looks when all the line weights are in? Closer to the part. Except for that. But that one's a problem anyways. And then I've got that extra line in here I gotta get rid of. Oh! I did accidentally delete that line. Whoops. Let me fix that. I thought I deleted a line in it, and I did. There we go. That's what the top view looks like. And then the last step you want to add for this is what? Your sectional, right? Now comes the fun part. Now what can I do? Do I need to add a sectional line, or can I just use this? Just use it. Keep life simple. And remember, how do we do it? What are the different ways we've added the arrows, because the software doesn't add it automatically? Yeah, this is a metric drawing, so you could do this. Draw the arrow, draw the line. And I usually say draw half of the arrow. And mirror that half. Don't make it too large. You will have to extend that line past it. Once you have that drawn, all you got to do is mirror it. What did I miss? I have a line over a line in there. I could see it. There's a line over a line. There we go. Got to get rid of that. What did I miss in there? Which way should this be facing, guys? That's it. Which could be facing the other way, right? So if I mirror them, Could be for ANSI. The nice part is when it comes to sectional views, it won't matter. So, then for the hatching part, we're going to use hatch, but which one? Solid, right? Because that's how you finish these arrows. I don't make these rules, I'm just telling you how to work with them. Okay, this center line turns into what? Oh, it's missing. Yeah, I gotta add it. Dot, usually it's a dot dash dot, because it's a sectional. But I have seen others. And then we change it to be thick, because it's a cut line. 0.6, is that what we agreed in class? Okay, now, the fun part. Putting in the bubbles. You have it in your hand sketch where what the numbers are, right? You do it to everything? Right? Good. So next, there's your bubbles. Add a leader. So when I look at my sheet, and I jump back in here, and I look at the, for some reason I cannot zoom in and out. Okay, let me try it this way. It won't let me zoom in and out for some reason. Alright. Here we are, we've got item 3. Item 3 is this piece. So if I point to it and go out, and I type in number 3, that's it. You get that. You will not get a circle around it. If I double click on it, we have different justification options. You notice that? But you do not get what? Draw a circle around me. You can change the number. Now what number are we going to change it to? What's going on? Do we know what scale this is at yet? No. So we're not going to worry about that yet. Because we don't know what scale this thing is at. So what do we need to do to figure that out? We have to insert something. Now is time to insert our border. Before we drop in dimensions. Got it? Remember that. So I'm going to go up a level, because I know you have them somewhere in here, right? Oh yeah, look at that. Layout, you did several different, and you have an ISO template too, so we'll just use it. Then I hit OK. There it is. We are not doing these anymore. We're done with those, so now I can delete them. This we're exploding. Let's get a little dot out there somewhere. And what do we notice? Part bigger or smaller? Bigger. So we should just scale the part to fit the border, right? Never. What do? We're going to scale the border to fit the part. But I'm lazy. What should we do before we do this? Not dimension, but we do have our reference. What should we do first? We have a reference drawing. Yes, you got it. This thing right here. Now, remember your text is an 1/8 inch tall in inch land, so what's the height in metric land? You have your little cheat sheet on that? 3 point what? What's the conversion again? If I look at my calculator. 0.125, whoops, let me clear. 0.125 times, what was that magic number? 25.4, you got it. 3.175, whoever said that, you were correct. So we're going to offset, because I'm lazy, 3.17, oh, wait a minute. If I made my boxes the same height as my text, is that a good idea? Nope. So what should I do? How big of a box should I make it? How about the same as what I give myself down here, where I'm drawing? That's the size you want to give. So we had this conversation before, and I individually as a group, 6.35. Now what is that number, really? What is that? What is that, and I know it's, what is that, a quarter inch, right? Times 25.4? Yep. So you're going to make quarter inch boxes the same way you made them in the bottom, all right? Make sense? So you're going to go to offset, and instead of offsetting what distance? 3.175. You're offsetting what number again? 6.35. And the nice part about offset is you can just, if I don't do it wrong, sorry about that, just keep going. Drop it, drop it, drop it. Now this is why you need to plan this out. How many line items are we going to need? We have these three. Okay, let's open this up again. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 parts, but I'm saying you have these three. Why did I say three? Because one of them is quantity 2. So you have those 3 parts. You have one type of bolt, a type of machine screw, and a nut. So I need how many? 6. I only need 6 boxes for content. But as our example shows, what else do you need? Title section for titling each column. So you need 7. All right? And if you do this up front, before you scale it up, you save yourself a lot of work. Did you hear the way I said that? Please remember what I'm saying. Okay? So again, how many did I give myself? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I'm not done. All right, let's try this again. A 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, a 6, and a 7. All right. Now you notice it goes all the way across. Now you should ask yourself the question, well, how much room do I need to give myself? As much room as it takes to type the information in. Across one line of text. Get it? That's how much room you need to give. So you got to plan that out. So we're not going to worry about putting in certain items. For example, it's going to be part number. Okay, that's the 1, 2, 3, right? So that doesn't require a lot of room. Part name, that's going to require room. Required, I'm actually going to make you switch these two, okay? And instead of required, it's going to be quantity. To me, the word required, maybe I've been in education too long, it's like a yes-no sentence instead of a quantity request. Required? Yes or no? I don't know. Get it? Whereas quantity really does say quantity. How many of these do I need? So from a language perspective, even at work, we would always use quantity, QTY. Okay, so that's going to be called QTY. Part name could be called description. We're not going to need the material section. I'm going to leave that out. But the part name, I'm just going to say description instead. You could use that because in some cases you really are writing out a description, not a part name. You're not just saying machine screw. You're giving a description of what kind of machine screw it is. Make sense? So I call that more of a description than a part name. Okay? To me, those are two different things. And you'll notice when you look at this, or we could add a column. For example, we can add a column, M20 by 25. To me, that's a part name is a hex head cap screw. That's all it is. Whereas the description is the M20. I would just add a column just have the column called description versus having it called part name, all right? To keep life simple. So if we type those in, do we want them just anywhere lined up, or how do we want them? Perfectly what? Centered. So how do we do that? Remember? Offset. Because the box is a 1/4 inch tall, we offset, well, the equivalent of a 1/4 inch in the metric world. That means we offset what dimension? 0.0625 times 25.4, right? So we offset 1.5875. When we do that, you will get it perfect, right on the money. Got it, guys? Keep that in mind. That's how you're going to nail it on location. Say again? And the sides too, you got it. But we don't know how long the text is going to be. So let's type in the text. What's the height of the text again? Because of course I forget everything. What is it? 3 point something, right? The text needs to be 3.175. Remember that, okay? And so it's going to be description. I can't type, and it's going to be in caps. Did I spell that right? Now I did. Okay, description. Okay. Then we're lazy. Ooh, is that right? Did I type that right? The word is correct, but the height of the text is wrong. I thought I fixed it. I must not have. 3.175. No, that's not what I wanted. No. Okay. You see how the text is smaller than the box? The two lines? That's how I know I did something wrong. Highlight the text, and I really want to change it to 3.175. There you go. Right on the money. Got it? So description, I'm going to copy this. See, you notice how I'm not typing it all in together, right? Quantity, you don't want to type it all in together. It's going to make too much work, trust me. Been there, done that. And what's the last one? What's it called? Item number? What's it called? Part number? It's not part number. I know it says part number, but to me part number is actually a part number. Like bring me an LR 3322. That's a part number. Get it? It's really an item number. And you can just say item. Okay? Okay? Use the word item. I'm giving you very specific instructions. So, yes, I could draw a line straight down vertically, so I have that positioning. See that? Then I can offset that very tiny number. That way I know this is going to be the thick line. So I could do a match properties, this to this. See? So I get that nailed perfectly. Got it? I could do the same on the other side if I wanted to become a little picky, which is okay. But it's really hard to do it to the other side. But I'm going to try. Okay, copy this over close to where the end is always, the one side you have a grip. See that? You have the grip of the word. On the other side you don't have a grip. Once you do it to the one side though, you'll be able to at least line it up to one side, not the other. And it's okay. Justified left is okay. There's nothing wrong with that. You hear me? Justified left is okay. You don't have to justify center or try to get really picky. Some people do. I'm just letting you know it's okay.
So we don't have to say material, or we'll keep it?
We're gonna leave the material off. We're just gonna do item, quantity, and description. Now, granted, did I give myself enough room for each box? Probably not. Okay. Please keep that in mind. I probably did not. So I can easily, though, at least for scaffolding purposes, I can copy all of this down. So I have all the alignments. Whoops, I did that one wrong. Be careful when you copy. And this is a little bit of, it's up to you how you choose to copy before, after. You know, somebody might say, well, I'm going to put all my stuff in first and then just copy down. And I'm even going to leave the word quantity in every line item so it reminds me to put the text in. Get it? Everybody's different. You choose to do what you want. I'm just giving you a method, not the method. Get it? Did you hear the way I said that? It's a method, not the method. Please remember that. With everything that I show you, it's just a method, never the method. Because there's always more than one way to do anything. So, for example, I'm just going to go and mirror this. That's how lazy I'm going to get. See that? That's an example of a method. I just did it to do it, just to show you. And I'm going to delete that little line I created to do that with. Cool? And then I'm going to copy, yeah, I can do that. I'm going to copy this line over. Now notice quantity, I can actually take out that last period because it's an understood abbreviation. At least in the field. It's understood. Your English teacher might not, so don't do it with your English teacher, okay? I'm going to draw a line here. I'm going to offset. Learn how to spell first. This line over, and this line over. See? Another method. See, I didn't do mirror. What did I do? I offsetted the two lines up front. Then I'm going to do match properties and pick the two items that will become Gesundheit. Now, should I have done that? Did I need to do that? Not really. Did you notice why? Yeah, some of you know, see why. Because it's over there already. All I got to do is move this. If I move this over, what do you realize? Oh, it's overlapping that other one. Right? So, it's up to you how you build this thing. Don't, what I'm showing you up here are just examples. I'm going to trim off this side, and you're going to be like, wait. How do you know if this is a good length? I don't. Okay? I honestly don't. I won't know until I put all the information into it. And do you see, when am I putting all this info in, guys? Before or after I've scaled it up? Before. Remember to do it before. If you do it after, you're actually going to end up with more work. Okay? At least once you'll have to make a change that you might not want to deal with. Now you'll notice the description I left all the way over here. What did I do? What? Do you notice how much room I gave description? Did I go? Yeah, I went the wrong way. Nope. Offset. I'm going to give description a lot of room. That way, when I move this thing, it's going to have the balance of the space available. Because it'll probably need it. And then I can randomly decide. It's not random, but I'm doing this so that you remember. Whoops, what did I do wrong? That way your text will always come out nice. You want to, since this is perfectly lined up anyways, that's how you'll nail it. If you're doing hand drawings, you'd be doing this anyways. Did I do that last one right? Nope. Is that good enough? Nope. Fix it. Critique your own work and make sure to correct your mistakes. For final copy, that's what you want to remember. Now, when we're in the middle of doing it as a demo thing like here, have I made mistakes up here a few times? The answer is yes. And I'm showing you how to fix them as we're making them. So the item, what does this change to? Item 1. That's right. Item 1. Now, let me show you a little trick. See where it says justification, top left, top center, top right, middle left, middle center. See that? That's how you can get things to be centered, but it depends on the size of their box. That's where the problem comes in. See that? It is tough after the fact. You notice because the word item was already in there? This is the real box. You see how it's the real width is all the way at this other end? Have you noticed those double arrows left and right? Arrows one direction. That's the actual size of the box. If I click on it and shorten that box up, and whatever I do will stay within that box. I'm showing you this because those of you, I know you're going to want to do this. You're going to want to make this 1 without the I in front of it. And knowing most of you are going to want to center it. See how I just did that? All of that here is in justification. The only reason it worked great the second time and didn't work the first time was what? When I click on this, how big is the box? Where your 2 arrows are, left and right, the left and right arrows. You see it? So you want to drag that in. See that? Drag it into that column of data. Okay? That way, as you hit each one of these and change them to be whatever you want it to be, and you pick center justify, that's what you're going to get. And this is going to be part of your final portfolio, so you want it to look good. Cool? So you'll take the time to just do this. It'll be okay. And you'll see how long it takes to do this. Whoops, that one's wrong. So what should I do? Just double click on it and what? Fix it right there. Okay? Sometimes this is actually easier to hand draw than it is to put in CAD, because in here you literally have to build it. There is another way to do it, like anything else, but I want you to learn literally how to make it. So there's item 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Quantity. Item 1, how many of item 1? You took your notes on this, so how many of item 1? 1, right? Now your teacher's lazy, so what am I going to do? I'm going to copy 1 across. Did you notice that? And then I'm going to move my box and close it up a bit so it's dead center. Did you see that? Did you see that? Is your teacher lazy? You can all resoundingly say yes. Which means I'm efficient. And I want you to be exactly the same. Got it? Okay. So do I really want you to type in 1? And you see how long it took to do 1, 2, 3, 4? Do I want you to do that with the second set of data? Nope. I want you to save time. Clock time. Faster. Get it done faster, right? That's the way to communicate. That's the way to think of what you're doing inside CAD. Always in your mind, say to yourself, I gotta move faster. How do I do this faster? What commands do I have available to me? The power of AutoCAD is where? Modify. The power of this software is in modify. It is not in drawing. It is not in creating from scratch. You see how long it took to create this table? That's why I need you to appreciate that. All right? So, yes, put it all together over here. And then, before you scale, this is when you put all this, get all this done. Okay? I'm not going to finish the rest of this because now you know what to do. I gave you the tricks. You're good? for this piece. The last thing you need to figure out are those other components. Where are they? Where do I find them? Now, if we look at the image, got to find that PDF. Where did it go? There it is. You realize an M2025 hex head bolt, that's a purchase part. So when I jump online, where am I going to find that? My favorite website is McMaster Carr. So you saw the hint of that earlier already. I jump on McMaster Carr's website. I'll show you one of these. The rest you can find yourself. Go into my fasteners section. What kind of fastener is this? It's a hex head bolt. So you look for something that looks like a head. That's a hex head screw. That's the word they're using. It's in metric, not in inches. It's an M20, and M20 is right there. What's the length? It's 60 long, so I find the 61. And is it fully threaded? No, it's partially threaded. See that? Because you see the little lines don't go all the way. So it's partially threaded. And then we're going to say it's out of steel. We're going to leave that alone. The finish, we don't care. It's zinc plated. They're all zinc plated. And that's it. We have one choice. An M20 by 2.5. And there we go. Product details. No, I'm not selling McMaster Carr in this video, but I do love their choices. They've done a great job with their website. On their website, pretty much every single fastener has a detailed drawing of that fastener. You do not do these drawings, but you use them. Did you hear the way I said that? The first thing you do is you download a 2D PDF of it. Okay? Because that's what you're going to include in your folder. Because you're not going to go and build this thing, but you're going to include that in your folder of stuff. So when you hand in this batch of drawings, when you email them to me, you're going to email me the PDF of this thing. Not just the 3 drawings you created and the assembly. Get it? The next thing you're going to do, as soon as the site refreshes, sent me all the way back. Isn't that annoying when that happens? Gosh darn it, you willikers. So, let's see if it sent me all the way to the main page. So what part was that? Anybody catch that part number? That's okay. Hex head screw. What was it? A hex head screw? Oh. Okay, that wasn't difficult to find, so we'll just rediscover it. It's no big deal. Annoying, but no big deal. Steel, partially threaded. There it is. Go back to there. The other thing you're going to do is download, see this? A 2D drawing file, 2D DWG file. Okay? I'm going to open it, because guess what I'm going to do? Because I'm lazy. I'm going to use it. Uh-oh. It's in read. Why is it in read only? Oh, continue opening. There we go. I'm going to use this. I'm going to copy this right into here and paste it. Wow. Do we have a small problem? Yay! Now we have something to fix. Do we have a small problem, guys? How do we fix it? What do you think? What do you think happened? Think through it.
Oh, that's scaled up.
Oh yeah, big time. This thing is scaled up. You got it. You nailed it. It's scaled up. Why? Because it's a really small fastener. It's not that, it's not a huge fastener. So in order to look good on the drawing, they did what we always tell you to do, which is you're going to scale up the border. But because this was the native drawing of this is in SolidWorks, it's like putting it in paperspace / layout mode in AutoCAD, which means you don't have it in its 1-to-1 size. You have it in its scaled size. So what you have to actually do is do the reverse math to figure out how to scale it down. So its current size is what? Let's find out. from here to here, and you do have a nominal. You see that 46 to 59, but it made it 90. And what's the original length? What's the length? 60? It's 60 long both. So 60 divided by 90, 0.666. 3/4 scale? 4/3 scale? What is it? What do you think? That's a third. Or 2/3, right? Because 2 divided by 3 is what? Yeah, so it's 2/3. So if I scale this down by 2/3, maybe it'll work. 2/3. And you've done scaling before. Now let's move it in and see if it's reasonable. Yeah, it is. It's reasonable. It's not perfect, but I'm okay with that. What am I trying to pull out of this thing? Do I want the whole thing? The thread, but we could go with this thread. I could simplify the whole thing too. But if I move this in, I just want it represented right in there. See? So what do I need to trim off now that I see it in here? What else should I trim off? This long line, right? See that? Got it, guys? You just put it in there. You do the same thing with the nut. What are you going to find out? How many of you notice what the next problem is going to be? No, this is okay. This is good. This is okay for here. Remember, we scaled it down. I don't know the exact scale. I guessed it. By the fractional value, 0.66667 is probably 2/3. And I'm guessing that. I'm not going to get too picky. Yes?
You want to get rid of all the screw thread lines?
Yeah, at least at the point where we're going to put the nut. Because the nut's going to come with all that too. It's great when we do 3D modeling to have to have that full thread look. But for those of us in AutoCAD, it's a pain in the buttinsky. It's visually challenging. So generally speaking, what we do in AutoCAD is we show a simplified thread symbol, which looks like a solid line and a dashed line. I'll show you real quick. So when we do external threads, just so you see it, we don't go through the effort of drawing everything. So here, you can actually fake it out. You can pull this out, so you have an end position. You can still use the end of this. Pull this line out over here. Take this end condition and complete it. That way it's the end of your fastener. This inner spot right here, I can pull just one of these lines. Because remember, that's what you're doing, right? I don't want to have the rest of this, right? So I can pull this out and then drag it across so it's a straight line. Then I can get rid of basically all of that. Because all of that is not necessary for us to have. Not for here. Get it? We're basically cleaning out, which we would love to keep, but that's a lot of content that we don't need. So in the end, you're just going to be showing something that looks like this. Once I learn how to draw a line straight. There we go. So there's a lot of that little stuff you're removing. And then your match properties, only the external element, not the internal. The internal of all things becomes like just a thin line, and it stays that way. Looks like that. Okay? That's what you're going to do. You don't need the full product. This is just the bolt. What you're missing is the nut. Okay? When you put that in, then you'll clean up even a little more of it. Got it? I recommend you clean the nut on the side. Take all the little fastener threads that you're going to see off before you move it in. All right? Just like I scaled it down before I put it into position. And I don't know what scale that one's going to come in, so you're going to have to do the math. You take the actual number that it is and divide it by the number you want it to be, whatever that is. You know, if it's 60, like this one was what, 90? Wait. The actual length is 60. The number that it actually was 90, something like that, right? So we took 60 divided by 90 to figure out the scale. Okay? So you'll have to do that with the others. And then once you know which bolt, nut, fastener, whatever it is you're using, that's what you're going to put into your assembly description, which is over here. Okay? Wherever it is. So if it's a fastener that ends up being, did I accidentally exit out of it? Yeah, I did. If we know what type of fastener it is, there it is. A medium strength steel hex head cap screw. See, M20, 25 M thread, long, partially threaded. Okay. Do you notice how lazy I am? I just did a copy, right? I still have to fix it, and I don't know. Which number is it, guys? It's number 4. I'm almost done. See that? I just pasted it in there. I copied and pasted it. It's long. It's a very long description. So you're going to have to shorten it up. 60 millimeters long. Now, what's another way I could do this? Could I say PT? I know I've seen it in different drawings in the field. Partially threaded is what that stands for. Not physical training. Okay? You can get away with that to make it a little shorter. Okay? Cool? That is how you put those descriptions in. Copy and paste them over and then clean them up. Make sense? Once it's completely done, then you scale this thing up to fit the drawing. And then make sure to document what that scale is. That's it. So here, remember, when you're going to put in your leaders, what are they going to look like? Even though it's a teaser, it looks like a line with a circle around it. I know what it makes you think it's going to do, but no, it doesn't. You put it out here. After you've got those in, you see, now it knows the scale, because what do? Did we make the scale yet? Not yet, fully, correct? What do we do? What's the scale? We don't know the scale yet, right? That's the last thing you're going to do is figure out the scale. After you get all the content in here.
Should we adjust the bottom to be similar to this one?
This one will actually update. No, you'd leave yours. You're fine. Don't worry about the border. Yeah, you'll just use yours. That's just a reference for someone who wants it. Okay? So here's what the leaders will look like. You just make sure that you go through your dimension style, which you already know how to do, and adjust the text height so it's correct. All right, just remember all of that. And that's it. No, don't add the circle. It's annoying. Because if you move the leader, your circle doesn't go with it. Okay? Now, if you have two of the same item, I've seen some students do this where you can add a leader. To say I want to point to these two things. Get it? Or these 10.5 things, whatever. You see that? Just to show you. Yes, you can do that. Cool? And that's it. That ends this lecture. The rest is going to be Q&A as you're doing it. So sorry, guys.